Are you tired of being told to be calladita? Join me and my guest, Pam Covarrubias, as we explore the 5 wounds of Calladita culture and share powerful healing strategies to reclaim our voices and live sin límites. Let's break the silence juntas. Hola, bienvenida. I'm your host and Latina mentor, Vanessa Rae Alonso. This is Latina Sin Límites, my podcast para tus sueños, tu business, y todo lo que quieres conseguir en la vida, relaciones, dinero, y más. I'm a speaker, business hada madrina, immigration attorney, and CEO of Alonso Attorneys at Law, where I make dreams come true and keep families together. Today, we'll talk about Calladita culture, this negative cultural norm that affects Latinas like you and me. Joining us today is my first guest and Latina mindset coach, Pam Covarrubias. Pam's goal is to remove the damages Calladita culture has instilled in first-generation humans in the United States. This is a topic she explores in her weekly podcast, Café con Pam. Like me, staying quiet and submissive is not a stance she supports. Pam has guided me to honor my heritage while leveraging my Latina resiliency as I've navigated existing in 2 culturas. In today's episode, we'll be identifying the 5 wounds that are rooted in Calladita culture that lead to feelings of silence, powerlessness, lack of identity, inability to commit, and low self-worth. We'll also go over how to recognize these wounds in your life and begin healing them so you can live a life sin límites. Pam, muchas gracias for joining me today.
Muchas gracias for having me.
What an honor. I'm so excited.
We made it.
Thank you for being my first guest.
Thank you for inviting me. This is super fun.
So let's start by just talking about Calladita culture. Like, what is it?
Yes. So Calladita culture is a system. So something we want to be clear is to not try to say, oh, you gave me Calladita culture. It's a whole combination of systems at play, from religion to machismo to marianismo to the patriarchy to colonization. All of those systems have created what it is, what I call Calladita culture, which is that combination of principles and beliefs and stories that we've heard, we've been told, that keep us quiet, small, underpaid, overworked, et cetera, et cetera.
Let's talk about the 5 different wounds that come from Calladita culture.
The first one is the wound of silence. And the reason why they're called wounds is because we can unlearn principles, but we heal wounds. And so, I do inner niña work. And with that inner niña work, we want to support that younger version of you that may have heard those stories so that she can heal from those and become a better, more healed version of herself. So the wound of silence is the one that says either don't speak. So you can overcompensate or you can undercompensate the wounds, because everyone at some point has had them. The goal is to get to alignment. And so the wound of silence, when you're undercompensating, you're too quiet. You don't speak up. You stay you have ideas, but you're like, I'm not going to say them. The overcompensation of the wound of silence is when you interrupt too much, when you overspeak, when you overshare, when you're known for no le digas, don't tell that person that, because she might just overshare it, you know? And so you can either under or overcompensate it.
I always wondered why in group settings of men, I do not speak. If it is a group of men, I'll just stay quiet. I let my husband do all the talking. And there's just a belief, they don't care what I have to say. And I don't feel comfortable speaking either. And I realize that the only times I feel comfortable speaking is if it's my own space, if it's my meeting, my executive board, my event, my podcast, then I can speak. But if it's a social setting where I'm, maybe not centered or it's not about me, then I'll sit back and not speak. Yeah, observe. And if it's men, then zero speaking. I just won't.
Wow.
Yeah. And the funny thing is I'll notice other people who talk too much.
Yes.
And I'm so annoyed. I'm just you're taking up all the space right now.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. When you get annoyed, it's probably because they're mirroring something that you wish you could do.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm you're so unhinged. You just keep talking and talking and talking. And I'm noticing, I will notice not a word count, but maybe something akin to that. She's been talking the whole time, and so is not spoken up. And so hasn't even gotten to share about how she feels about the subject. You know, it's like I'll keep a tally of how much everyone's speaking.
Of who's silenced and who isn't.
And mostly it's been ever since we started talking about this. Because I think...
It's fascinating.
Even more that I'm more aware now, I am more annoyed when people just take up all the space. And if I'm centered, if it's my meeting, if it's my thing, then I'll be like, okay, I'm talking too much. Like, let me relax a little bit. Silence, it's so damaging. You know, if you're undercompensating, it's damaging just like you're overcompensating. And so what's like some tool that someone who's either over or undercompensating in this wound, what can we do?
For sure. So, I mean, there's so many tools. Different tools, whether you're over or undercompensating. One very easy one, sing. Like, use your voice. And so choose your favorite song and just sing. And so that could work for over or under. So if you tend to be told that your tool is sing and find your volume. If you tend to be told that you're overshare, sing and like find your voice. If you don't talk, then sing. Open up this energy center that allows you to speak your truth. And a great way to get started to speaking your truth is to speak other people's truths, which is many times through song, through lyrics. Because that's how musicians and songwriters, their truths are written on the lyrics. And so if you give yourself permission to borrow those truths from other people and speak your truth through singing, that can help you open up a little. So the wound of power is when you either give your power away. So say yes all the time. Yes, I'll do it. Yes. Whatever you think, yes, I can't make a decision. Or the opposite side, the overcompensation of it is perfectionism and control. And so the undercompensation is when like very indecisive people everyone at some point will have a difficulty making a decision.
Everyone needs advice, right?
Yes. But there's the undercompensation of power when you literally can't make a decision by yourself. And there's lots of people like that. Whether you come to a coach to make a decision or you like ask your friends or your family or like your dog, like it's just that you can't make a decision by yourself. That's one signal that it's undercompensated. Also, if you say yes without even thinking, just because like, yes, because I'll do it for you.
You didn't even think about how it affects you. You're already saying yes.
Yes. Or on the overcompensation part of it is you control everything. The overcompensation of power is very debilitating, actually, because it could also keep you from like completing things because they're not perfect.
Something we've worked on is been giving away my power. Absolutely. Like I went from my whole life, my mom, like I would never make a move if she was not happy with it. And she had to be supportive. She had to be excited. Like I did not know how to do something that would disappoint her. And like looking back, I thank God that she was a supportive, loving mom that wanted good things for me.
Yeah.
Because what if she hadn't been?
Imagine.
I would not have reached my goals ever. And then that changed from like making my mom happy to then making my spouse happy.
Right.
And so then it became like, well, what does my husband think? And is he supportive? Does he like this? And then we started our business together. So then like my power in my business was also very dependent on him. Yes, shared power. But honestly, it became like I couldn't be happy with my decision unless I convinced him to be on board. And it was so funny because I would want to do something like I'm the visionary in the law firm. Like I want to do this big thing. I want to grow it this way. I want to XYZ implement. And if he's always the operations person. So he's like, no, that's not going to work because it's expensive or that's not he's the no person. And so I would have to like convince him because I want to do it and I want him to be happy about me doing it.
In this case, you're the gas and he's the brakes. And the gas is necessary in order for the car to move forward.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
the brakes are necessary so the car doesn't crash. And being in your power allows you to say, no, this is the time when we're actually going to push the gas.
Yes. And that was the part I was missing was that being in my, like that part where I would step into my power and be like, okay, no, I hear you and I get it, but we're still going.
Right.
It would be like, no, all my energy, we're just pushing him to be okay so that we can move forward. So now I will say like, okay, now at this point, I'm going to do this or this is happening. And it's funny because I would blame him when we didn't move. Yeah. Like I would be like, you
pushed the brakes too much.
You're holding us back, man.
Wow.
Like you're holding us back. Like you're the reason we don't grow. You're the reason why we haven't met our goals, you know? And he would say, how am I the reason? I'm I'm like, because I propose things and then you're not on board. And he's like, yeah, but we can still go forward, Vanessa. You're the CEO of the law firm. You say what we're doing.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, but I need you to be on board. And he's like, I can have my opinion on how I feel about things and then things can still move forward. And it was just so crazy. Like he would give me the permission, but I never gave it to myself. And so I would just revert to like, no, I'm going to convince you.
Well, and that's part of power, that you look for other people's permission before you can give it to yourself.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like I could run a whole company, have all this success and still be giving away my power, which is, it's sad that like even people that present as powerful and people that seem like they have it all together can still
100%. I mean, it doesn't matter what level you're in, you know, new level, new devil.
And I think ever since you taught me like stepping into your power, that like making a bad decision is my power. That sounds, I don't know why that sounds like so new to me. Like I've never heard that before. I think because I never have, but when I say it out loud, it's like very liberating to say I can make a bad choice. I can make a mistake. I have to remind myself that consistently, but that has helped me so much take back my power. Like just trust that it's okay for me to make a mistake. It's okay for me to choose something on my own, not rely on anybody else, not give away that power, and that it go bad.
Yeah. And then you own it. Self-responsibility. Yeah. Because what happens when you take self-responsibility, you take yourself away from victimhood. And victimhood is the place that blames people. Self-responsibility says, I chose this, and how am I choosing to learn from this? And what direction am I going to go from this decision that I made?
So tell us about wound number 3.
Wound number 3 is the wound of identity. And the wound of identity is one that lots of people have in different, again, it's a spectrum.
This is not Latina-centric. This is
not Latina-centric at all. It's it's
prevalent
in Latinas, but it's not necessarily. The wound of identity, it's either undercompensated, you assimilate to the dominant culture, whatever that is.
Okay.
So you just walk into rooms and you just become one of them. So like when you walk into a room full of men, the way for you to assimilate is to make yourself not be there. Yeah. You can't be a man.
Because I'm an outlier.
Yeah.
So I'll just be quiet.
You just like erase yourself in a way. And the overcompensation of it is when you feel the need to educate people on your, like, just be like, because I'm Mexican, you know, like just everything is all around your identity, but that's rooted in like approval.
So someone's like, oh, she's Mexican. Or, oh, you want to like scream it, if you will, at any moment possible.
Yeah. And also the wound of identity, there's this element of like, for example, when you were telling the story about your mom, that she approved of all your academic achievements, that could also be in your identity, because
oh my gosh,
the wound of identity would be like, well, I have to be a doctor or I have to be a lawyer because I heard the story that this is who I need to be.
Oh yeah,
based on someone I love. And so the wound of identity is also rooted on other people's stories around you. And this is why I love seeing people going back to their country of origin and how they're like, I feel so good. And that's because you're connecting back to yourself. You know, that's a way to get back to that alignment of saying and honoring who you truly are without the stories of how you need to prove that you are or assimilating of who you're not.
It's so true, because I know, for example, what you just said earlier, like my mom approving of everything, that became part of my identity. So it's like almost giving her the power also then became my identity wound, because I didn't know how to not be a great daughter. Like if I'm not a good daughter, I'm not good. So Pam, let's move on to our wound number 4.
Wound number 4. Wound number 4 is the wound of commitment. So the wound of commitment is the undercompensation of it is when you don't take risks. So the wound of commitment and like the overcompensation of it is when you're burnt out because you just overcommit to all the things, like you're doing too much. And the wound of commitment is interesting because lots of times people are like, I want to do this, or the trying. I'm trying to do it, but there's that fear of that risk. And so that you can't, like you're undercommitted, like you don't get to it. And trying, I heard it from a psychologist once and I was like, oh, the word trying. So if you were to hold something and I say like, try to throw it, across the street. Try to throw it. What are you going to do?
I'm going to actually throw it.
But try. I didn't say throw it.
Oh, try. I'm not going to do anything.
I just say try.
I'm going to hold it. Like if you're like try, then
try to throw it.
That to me seems like I can't accomplish the goal of throwing it. So I'm just going to.
Because I didn't say to throw it.
Yeah.
So you're just going to maybe pretend to throw it. And so the undercompensated people that are in the commitment wound, they tend to be always trying.
Yeah.
You see it? And so that's why I think we had a conversation earlier and I was like, I have a thing with trying because it's almost like trying is not doing. It's keeping you trying. You're just trying. Undercompensated people, typically you'll find it when they say, well, you know, when you say, how are you? And they're like, I'm trying to blah, blah, blah. They're always trying. And so like I've said it, you know.
No one has this down.
Yes.
Exempt.
Exempt. Thank you. So you're either always trying or burned out. The overcompensation of commitment, the wound of commitment is when it's the typical, it's better for me to do it than to delegate it.
Oh, God.
It'll take me like 2 minutes. It'll take me 3 hours to teach it. Because we're not ready to commit to that long-term success, long-term process, long-term whatever it is, problem solving. Because sometimes it's worth investing the 2 hours to train someone because that will save you 15 days later, you know? But the wound of commitment, because when you stay in the like, what do I feel in this moment right now? And no risk taking, that's why it keeps people like very stuck.
Yeah, I've seen that in my life in many ways. And I had a coach before you, a communication coach, which was recommended by another lawyer friend of mine. And she said, you know, I'm getting to these moments where I have to have like these really professional conversations. Your law firm starts to grow and you have to lead people and you have to delegate. And there's so much that you have to do that's so uncomfortable. And so I got a coach on communication and he gave me some tools, like tools that you've given me as well to help through this. So I agree. There was something he taught me, which was like, are you attached or are you committed? Right? So it's like, are you committed to the outcome or are you attached to every step of how this is going to go? And you can be committed to the outcome without being attached to the process. And that really helped me understand what you just said, not wanting to delegate or feeling like, oh, I don't want to take this time to explain it to you because I could just do it myself faster. And I think something amazing that you've taught me is if it's not a fuck yes, it's a hell no.
Yes. It's a no.
And I love that. I love that. Because now I'll even tell, you know, like my personal creative assistant, Giselle, like, are we doing this? Like, how is this looking? And I'm like, remember what Pam said? If it's not a fuck yes, it's a hell no. You know? And maybe I'm like adding bad words de más to this slogan or whatever framework.
But you know it.
Yeah, I know it. And it works. It really helps put things into perspective.
Wound number 5, that's a big one. So wound number 5 is the wound of worth. The wound of worth.
I want to cry already.
I know. The wound of worth. On the undercompensated side, we undercharge. We don't negotiate pay. We just take the first option. Or the overcompensation of it is when you accomplish everything but still feel empty. And so it's the wound of worth is let me check all the boxes of what people, the world, my parents, society, my partners, my cousins, the dog, like whoever externally says, this is what success looks like for you. So you see how all of them are connected. So that weaves into the wound of identity. Because if you've been hearing stories of someone expecting you that this is what success looks like, you check the boxes because that's you know your worth, but you check them so much so that once you get there, it's like, ¿y ahora qué?
Yeah. It was supposed to confetti and balloons and stuff are supposed to fall from the sky. And it doesn't happen that
Maybe
way.
they did, but it was like 2 minutes and then you were back to like finding yourself again. And so the balance of the wound of worth, the alignment is to be whole regardless of what you do have or don't have because you're full and whole as you are. And that one's probably the one that the majority of people have like deeper there because it's very rooted in stories. It's very rooted in like identity is very connected to that. Power is very connected to that.
The wound of worth to me is like a big one.
Yeah.
because it's true. I had all the boxes checked. I was like, I want to have, okay, first of all, what are like the 2 careers everyone says they want, right? A doctor or a lawyer, right? So I was like, okay, I suck at science, so lawyer it is, you know?
Yes.
And I wanted to help people. I had all these big dreams. And so I checked the box. I was like licensed by 24. And then I was like, I want to be married with kids by 26. I want to own a home by 25. And like literally check, 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 check. Then it was like, okay, I'm a practicing lawyer. I have kids and a husband and a house and all the boxes. So far, so good. I'm like, okay, well, not feeling great yet amazing. Not feeling like I thought I was going to feel when all these boxes were checked. So maybe it's like money. Okay, so now I have to have a certain amount of money. It's like, okay, to get that money, I have to have my own practice because I'm never going to get paid this big money being an associate, or no one's going to give me $1 million salary.
Right.
So open my own practice. Then it's like, okay, it's going good. Still not feeling it. Get to making a lot of money. A millionaire status. Like, whoa, I thought that was going to be like the balloons and the confetti from the sky. And still, like inside it still was like nothing happened. So it was like, there's this expectation of some inner fulfillment based on these boxes being checked. Like you said, from the external, events. I thought we're going to fulfill the internal. Yeah.
So your worth is within. Your worth is, you need to feel worthy with the zeros, without the zeros, just for being. That's worth. And that's hard because the world has taught us that what gives us the worth is the zeros, or is
absolutely.
Like the degrees or the titles or the certifications. But in reality is what makes you feel worthy, because you are already. I think, well, as a Latina, we have that first lived experience, and I see it because I've lived it. We tend to introduce ourselves with the accolades and all the things because we tend to be questioned more about it. Because literally, I have experiences. We don't come with that. We have to build it. And that's why we tend to overstudy. We tend to overachieve. We tend to like get all the degrees and more.
Like over credential ourselves.
Yes.
Because we have to show up differently.
We have to prove because you have to prove it.
Yeah. I mean, look at me. I went to like a normal law school. It's not like an Ivy League school. Like I'm a licensed lawyer, and I've done things that lawyers that have gone to Ivy League law schools
are still chasing.
They're still exactly. And it's so, you're absolutely right. Like those letters after your name, where you went to school, they're irrelevant to the magic that's inside. Like I love that. I think that is like one of the best things you've said today. Even though you say a lot of amazing things all the time, like that's one of my favorites from today.
Find your magic.
Find your magic. Like, so now we're going to talk about healing the 5 wounds. This is the good part. Because we can identify and talk all day about our problemas, but let's do a quick recap, Pam. So remind us of the 5 wounds and then what your framework is for healing.
So the 5 wounds: the wound of silence, keep us quiet or overly talkative. The wound of power, number 2, the one that we either just give our power away or overly control, perfectionism. 3, the wound of identity. That one was a big one. Either we assimilate or we just overdo it where it's not aligned. Like you feel misaligned. The wound of commitment is the one where we either don't take risks. We just like stay small. We ask what other people think, or we control too much, or we burn out. So mainly the commitment is when you are like too tired, and when somebody asks you, why are you so tired? And you're like, because I've been doing everything for everyone. And then the 5th wound is the wound of worth, which is when you undercharge, don't negotiate, or when you accomplish all the things but still don't have found that magic within you. Oftentimes it's this question of, how do I get started if the resources are not there? Right? So there's this free framework that it's very systematic and easy to remember. So 1, you want to think about the future. So this is really sitting down and asking yourself, what do I want? And like so many times people have not asked themselves that.
Yeah, like how does this look if you're successful, right?
Well, what does your heart need and want in this moment? Because if you've been chasing success, or if you've been stuck feeling you're avoiding the risk, if time, money, resources, and the wounds were clear, what would you do? What do you want? What is your heart desire? What is the ultimate desire that your heart gives you? So that's looking like ahead, because we want to work in a coaching framework. We want to work from the present forward. But I recommend people working from the present outward. You don't want to be like, who gave me this? No. It's irrelevant. We're here now. So what do you want? That's the F for future. The R for road is we know where the destination is, because without a destination, you can have a map and you won't get anywhere. And so once we get to that destination, then what's getting in the way? So what's on the road? What's keeping me from getting there? So that's when we bring ourselves back to reality. So the first question was like, if time, money, and resources were unlimited, what do you want? Then the second part of the road gets you back into, all right, well, what's my reality in this moment? And how could I get to that? What's in the way of me arriving there? That gives you awareness of the wounds. The E for examine is where you can find resources. So this is where you want to think about your squad and really see where is your support system. And so resources, going back to the R of resources, it's really being open also to receiving help. Because if you're overcommitted, then it's not that we always have to figure it out. Is that the world exists with lots of people because we're not meant to live alone. We're not meant to walk the road alone. We're not meant to figure it out alone. And the first, eldest, all of those, we tend to think that we do. And so giving yourself permission to ask for help, that's like huge already. So resources. And the last E is for explore. And so this is where you want to explore and see the possibilities. So examine where you are, because having the awareness already can give you that space of you can't see it. And so now having the awareness, then you can also tune into yourself and ask yourself, because having the awareness allows your frontal cortex part of your brain to make decisions. And so if you stay in the emotions, which is the middle part of the brain, the limbic brain, then emotions always win. But if you have the awareness, and the awareness means that it's already come to your frontal cortex, and then you're able to catch that, because we talked about words, habits, character, road, destiny. And so once you're able to catch it in words, then you can say, all right, what am I going to do with this? So you can go back to, what do I want? What's getting in the way? Who do I have to help me? So the awareness is super important. So it's free for future road, explore, examine, and explore.
And it's free.
It's free.
It's the best
free
part of the free is that it's free.
Yes.
For today's Caja de Tesoros, I want to recommend none other than today's guest and her podcast. Pam Covarrubias, your podcast is Café con Pam. So tell us where we can listen and find more of your amazing tools. Like, you've shared so much today, but tell us more. Where else can we get more of this?
Yes. cafeconpam.com. It's really simple. All over the place. Café con Pam podcast on Instagram, and cafeconpam.com. That's where you can find all the things that I do.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Keep
much.
it simple. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam, for joining me today. And thank you for being my coach and everything that you've helped me learn. And I'm excited to see how many more people are going to benefit from this. And I think you're going to be a pivotal role in this goal of helping Latinas live a life sin límites.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for having me and for doing our sessions.
And I want to thank you, my fellow colega, for tuning in to today's episode. Recuerda, you have the power to recognize these wounds of power, wound of silence, wound of identity, wound of commitment, and wound of worth. Pam and I also have equipped you with an understanding of where these wounds come from and how to use simple but powerful tools and frameworks to help you heal and move forward in a way that feels authentic to you. I am your host and Latina mentor, Vanessa Rae Alonso. You can find more at www.vanessaraealonso.com and continue the conversation on Instagram at Latina Sin Límites Pod and also at Vanessa Rae Alonso to follow me. Latina Sin Límites is hosted by me, Vanessa Rae Alonso. This show was produced, managed, edited, and mixed by AS Media. Muchas gracias for listening to Latina Sin Límites.